Number 62. Is it possible to liquefy nitrogen at room temperature, which is about 25 degrees Celsius? And then, is it possible to liquefy sulfur dioxide at room temperature? And then explain your answers. Okay, so liquefying. Liquefying basically just means that you can turn it into a liquid. So, what I pulled up here is a couple of different substances with their critical temperature. Now, a critical temperature is very, very, very important because this is the temperature in which you are basically as like a breaking point here. So maybe I'll just draw this line here and I'll say degrees Celsius. Anything that is above your critical temperature, the substance will basically be considered as a supercritical fluid, which is called SCF. So supercritical fluid. Now, supercritical fluid is basically a intermediate between a substance that has both liquid and gas properties. So this will have both liquid and gas property. It's not a pure liquid. So technically, you cannot liquefy into a supercritical fluid because it has both. Anything below your supercritical fluid is safe to liquefy. You're back to liquids, and then if you go lower in pressure, you can go to a gas. But basically, anything below is safe to liquefy or become a liquid. And just for remembrance sake, this line is your critical temperature. So anything above your critical temperature, you cannot liquefy because you would not be a liquid. You would be classified as a supercritical fluid. But anything below that critical temperature, you can liquefy because you can turn it into a pure liquid. Am I spelling this right? Liquefy. It's an EFY. I thought it would be an IFY. But I guess you learn something new every day. And then I'll just change this over here. UE. Okay. So, let's do nitrogen. Now, nitrogen's critical fluid is negative 147.2. Now, for nitrogen, which is N2, the critical fluid, or the critical temperature, is negative 147 degrees Celsius. Anything above that temperature, you cannot liquefy. But anything below that temperature, you can liquefy. So now the question is, can we liquefy nitrogen at room temperature, which is 25 degrees Celsius? Where would 25 degrees Celsius be on this chart? Would it be above negative 147, meaning more positive, or would it be below negative 147? Yeah, it would be above. Above would be 25 degrees Celsius. And because of that, you cannot liquefy N2 at room temperature. Because at room temperature, N2 gas would be, or nitrogen would be, a supercritical fluid and not a liquid. So cannot liquefy nitrogen at room temp. Now we just have to do the same thing with sulfur dioxide. Let's just maybe go over here, color this in pretty quickly. One more. Okay, now let's do sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is SO2, and sulfur dioxide's critical temperature is a positive 157.2 degrees Celsius. So, Anything above that temperature, you cannot liquefy. But anything below that temperature, you can liquefy. The temperature in question is room temperature again, which is about 25 degrees Celsius. So on this chart now, would 25 degrees Celsius be above 157.2 or would it be below 157.2? Yeah, it would be below 25 degrees Celsius. And since in this case it's below, you can liquefy sulfur dioxide at room temperature, which means that it can become a pure liquid. Room liquid. Does that ever happen to you guys when you're trying to write something and then you say something and you write down that word instead of what you're thinking? Happens to me all the time. But I must say, as I'm doing these videos, I am actually getting better, and I can actually talk and write down two different things. So, what does that teach you guys? Practice, practice, practice. You always learn by doing. And that's how you get better at things. Just practice. Don't study, don't try to study as much theory as possible. Get in there. Do these problems. That's how you really learn. And it's kind of the same for anything that you're trying to learn. You know, if you're trying to learn a new language, don't try to get in there, try to learn, all the different theory behind, masculine, feminine, neuter. If you're trying to learn German, just try speaking, Easier said than done. But I believe that if you want to, learn something, not the best way, but the most effective way, you just got to do it, and you'll be proud of yourself. Just like I am when I can notice that, I can speak and write two different things. But anyway, small wins. But I hope this helped you out. Thank you for coming to the channel. And if you wouldn't mind, please hit the subscribe button. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been so kind in the comments. And you're crushing it on those exams and quizzes. I'm so proud of you. And let's just keep rocking and rolling. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.